I didn't like the film, but all because I didn't like the film, it doesn't mean you won't like the film. So let me talk about the good things and then the bad things, because this is a non-spoiler review, and then we'll get to the bad things. But let me just talk about the good things, and I'll tell you why else we didn't like the film. The good things about the film. Um, Sam Raimi is a very skilled director, and I think he did some things in this film that were very interesting. So obviously, you know him from his horror background with the Evil Dead series and so forth. So that there's some directing techniques that he used visually, and just some kind of horror concepts that he did. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Like there's one scene in which I was like, oh, I haven't seen that in an MCU movie. Just the way that he depicted an entire scene of horror was, oh, that's interesting. And there are just some scenes and some elements that are like, oh, that's actually quite creative. So it is technically made. It's technically well made in that instance. I thought Elizabeth Olsen, she did a good job. She did a good job for her character. Obviously, you obviously know that she's Scarlet Witch in this whole thing and everything. That's obviously known. So she did it really. She did a good job. She did a good job in depicting her character and her character's motivations. Because I don't want to spoil anything. So the acting was decent. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's about it. There's one thing happened, which is my favorite thing in the entire movie, but I can't say it because it's a spoiler. But there's one thing that happened, and I said, "Oh, that is the best thing in this whole thing," because wow, I can't believe they did that and they included that. But I can't say it. I can't say. You have to watch the movie. But when they did that, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's okay. That I like what you did. I like what you did." So, I didn't like it. See, guys, I'm a huge film fan. You can look at the stuff here. I'm a massive film fan, and I used to do acting, and I used to make films. I used to make films. I used to write films. And there's a time when, and I still do, like, I watch a lot of films. And I've been watching multiple films a day since I was 6, 7 years old. So I'm a film guy. So when I look at films, I'm looking for narrative, I'm looking for plot, I'm looking for story threads, I'm looking for pacing and structure. So, and that's just how you have to operate. Something seems to have been lost along the way with the MCU movies, because when you look at Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Captain America films, they are films. There's a narrative, there are story threads, there are character motivations, there are characters that you can connect with. Something just seems to be lost, and I think we've gone away from films to now episodes. This is just an episode. So have you watched the What If thingies? Have you watched WandaVision? This is the next entry into those things. Because even the way it starts and so forth, and the way that it goes through, it's like, oh, set piece, set piece, set piece. Wait, hang on, slow down. What's the story? Ease us in. What is the plot that's happening? Where is the structure of the story? Just ease us into the storytelling. Nope, nope. This is MCU. It's the next episode. Boom, 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 bam. Like this is the next thing that's happening, and then this now next thing that's now set up for the next thing. I'm like, just CGI upon CGI, sets piece to the next set piece. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, for me, I said, this is just nonsense, bro. Like it's nonsense. Like I'm not watching a film. I'm just watching an episode, like a particular entry. And I hated WandaVision. Sorry, like that's just my view. I did not like WandaVision. And then I did watch the What If episodes because I unsubscribed from Disney Plus. So you don't need to see those. I don't know. You don't need to see WandaVision or What If, but it does help. Because there's a particular plot in this film where if you've watched WandaVision, it makes a lot of sense. And if you've not watched WandaVision, you will seem a bit lost. So I don't know, man. Even if I didn't watch WandaVision, this won't have the same effect than if you did. But for me, and that's my ultimate thing, that no, I'm not going to review this based on like, oh, how does it fit into the whole MCU thing? No, I take a film as itself. The first Avenger, that's a damn good film. Winter Soldier, that's a damn good film. Civil War, that's a damn good film. Iron Man, that's a very solid film. Guardians of the Galaxy 1, that's a very good film for what it is. These are just, in and of themselves, you can watch those things in a vacuum and you're like, say, beginning, middle, end, good characters, nice plots, nice pacing, good structure. If you were to watch this film like 10 years from now, you'd be like, if you'd watch this movie 10 years from now, not watching any MCU movie, you'd be like, what the hell is this? And don't give this whole thing of like, well, you have to, because that's what it's about. You have to watch all the MCU movies. No. A film should be able to stand on its own with its own merits, based on character, storytelling, plot, pacing, and so forth. It shouldn't have to rely on what you've seen before. That's BS. So for me, and that's it for me. I'm out of the MCU. Like for me, I'm out. Endgame was Endgame. Like it was happening. Endgame really was Endgame. Because I just think that ever since Endgame, they've not been able to replace Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. And I just think as I'm looking at this stuff now, I'm like, I haven't liked any entry since Endgame. The only thing that was the Loki TV series was cool, and the Winter and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki series, those are the only things I thought were cool. Apart from that, negative, none. And I just look at this, I'm like, nah, it's like, guys, come on. Like, this is not a film. Like, plot, story, character, it's a mess. It's a complete mess. So, you may like it. I'm not saying you may like it, but for me, just was, and I just think for me, MCU in my thing. And yes, I'm waiting for Avatar Way of Freaking Water. James freaking Cameron can actually tell a damn story. I'm waiting for the Avatar with water. One love. Don't post any spoilers. This is non-spoiler. Do not post any spoilers.